In this video, we're going to show you how to do plastic repair. If you ever had a gouge or something that was just on the outside of the surface, we're going to show you how to fix that. So this video is going to demonstrate the steps it takes to repair a gouge or something that just happened to the outside. It does not include what the steps taken to do a two-side repair where it's a crack or split or tear where it went all the way through the bumper cover. We'll do another video for that. But if you got a gouge or something on the outside of the surface, we're going to show you the steps it takes to do that. So the first thing you want to do before any repair is to wash the surface good with soap and water. We've already done that. That removes all the silicones and waxes. Now there's a lot of different types of damage that can happen on one side like this, a one-sided repair. And we're just using this short piece of a bumper cover, make it easy for me to demonstrate to you so I can show it here real easy. But, a gouge or something that's on the outside, first thing we want to do is we want to dish that out. Now it's kind of, plastic repairs, it's kind of the opposite of body repair. Whenever we're doing body repair, we try to get the metal just as straight as possible and use as little body filler as possible. However, with plastic repair, we want to build some depth in there to give that material, that adhesive, something to build to. So we're going to dish out an area right here to give us some room to apply the adhesive. Now to do this, I'm going to use this cordless drill, which actually works real good for plastic repair because it's low RPM. Use air tools, they sometimes are too high, so you need to cut them back because if you grind too fast with plastic, you're just going to smear it and it's not going to do a good job. So low RPM is ideal when working with plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out a little bit and make sure all that scratch or gouge, whatever the damage is, I'm going to remove that by grinding and kind of build an area to apply my adhesive. And I'm using 50 grit Rolock on this. You don't want to go any coarser like 36 or anything like that on plastic. The coarsest grit you ever want to use is 50 grit. So that's what I'm doing. I'm grinding this down and dishing that out with 50 grit. Now you want to get some 80 grit to kind of finish feathering that out. You see the deep scratches left from the 50. And also you want to feather that back a little bit more because you don't want any adhesive to get on the painted surface. Now, all I've got is a DA disc here, but any 80 grit will work fine. So I'm going to put this around a block, and I'm going to kind of block this out. Okay, I got 80 grit. I'm going to use one more step, and I'm going to get some 180 and finish smoothing these scratches out a little bit before I apply the adhesive. So I've got some 180 on a block here. And while I'm doing this, it's really recommended that, this works a lot better with a dual action sander, a DA sander. A lot faster, a lot quicker. But if you don't have a DA sander or a compressor, a block will work. It's just a little bit slower. Okay, now I've got it all 180 grit sanded. And now I'm going to clean it off, apply some adhesion promoter, and then get ready to apply the adhesive. Again, if you have a compressor, it'd be good to go ahead and blow it off. Make sure all the dust is off. I'm just wiping it off good with a dry. I don't want to use any solvents on plastics, so I'm just using a dry wipe off to make sure all the dust is off. Okay, it's very important with plastic, anytime you're doing plastic repair on the bare plastic, that you use adhesion promoter. Very important step. So I'm going to apply, and you don't want to put this on too thick. Just dust a couple light coats on, and then allow it to dry for about 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the temperature. So I'm going to allow that to dry for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and apply the adhesive. Okay, now I'm going to use some Easy Sand Flexible Parts Repair. This product's good for about all bumper covers and parts like that. Now, one thing when you're done using it, this will harden in the tube. That makes a perfect seal. So this was from the last use. So whenever you're done, just leave this tip on there. I'll take this off, put a new tip on, and then whenever I'm done, I'll leave this on until the next use. So I'll take this one off. Put it in the gun. Before I start putting it on, I want to equalize this tube, purge it out, make sure that product's coming out of both sides. Because if one side is clogged for some reason and they're not mixing together, it's not going to harden properly. Okay, see how they're coming out of both, so I know that there's no type of clog there. And I know the tab repair was in a hurry because it hardens so fast, you only have about 30 seconds. But that's not the case with this. You've got quite a bit of time to work with this, so you don't have to rush it quite as much. Okay, now we've got the tip on. Now I want to run it a little bit through the tip and make sure that it is mixing properly. So I'm going to run just a little bit through here. Okay. Now I can apply some to the repair area. Now this is an adhesive. It acts as a filler. It fills it up much like body filler, but remember we kind of dished that out. So you're going to have some of the material filling in that dish area. That helps provide strength. You want it just like body filler, you want to push down with a tight coat where it pushes it down in all the crevices. This will help with adhesion. Then you come back with a fill coat. This is going to put it on a little bit thicker. Okay, I've got a tight coat and a fill coat in the plastic repair area, and notice that I didn't get it on the painted surface because this is only to be applied on the plastic. Now we're going to allow that to dry for about 20 minutes and then we'll block sand it out. But as this is drying, I'd like to ask you, the viewer out there, what types of videos would you like for me to do? We've done some plastic repair, and if you got a car that has plastic, this is very useful. Save you from having to buy a new bumper cover, which are very expensive. But you may be working on some older vehicles. So I'd like to ask you, what types of videos would you like to see? As far as plastic repair, we've done a tab repair. If you get a tab broken, how to do that. This is a one-sided repair. And in another video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do a two-sided repair if it's cracked or tore. I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'll talk more about plastic. But I'd like to hear from you. What video would you like to see? Okay, I've allowed it to dry for 20 minutes, and now I'm going to see, if it's ready to sand. So we'll start off. Now I'm going to start off with 80 grit. Now what I don't want to do is get to sanding real big and cause a bunch of big scratches out here that I have to deal with. So I'm mainly just wanting to knock these highs down so I don't have to sand so much with the finer grits. So I'm going to keep it right here in the center. I'm just going to sand a little bit and see. Now you can see that it's dusting up. It's not wet, so it's going to be fine to go ahead and start sanding. I'm just going to sand right here on the adhesive. And another thing is we're doing this. This is the right way to do it. I've seen a lot of different ways. You do not want to put Bondo or body filler on these. It's not going to adhere properly. Now, the products I use, 3M, now that's obviously not the only one. There's some other ones out there. I know Lord Fuser makes plastic repair products, and there's other ones too. But don't use Bondo or body filler for this. This plastic adhesive, it's going to stick well. It's going to adhere better, not come off later. So be sure that you use the right products, whatever brand it is. And whenever I'm sanding this, you want to be sure not just sand in one direction. Just like with body filler, I want to sand it this way, and then I want to cross and sand it the other way. Still trying to keep it small at this point, but be sure and cross sand. Okay, it's starting to sand out, and I'm going to go ahead, before it's all the way sanded, you don't want it to get it just perfect and then start trying to go with the finer grits. So now I'm going to go with the 180, and with 180 I can go out a little further with the sanding. Now I have 180 on a block. I'm going to go a little bit bigger, still cross sand. Okay, once you got it sanded, you can fill it, make sure it feels good and there's no lumps or lows. And another thing you can do, I don't have any here, but you could spray some guide coat. That's just a black coating you can put on there, and you sand it off, and when all the black is gone, you know you have no lows left. But feel of it, make sure it feels good, make sure your feather edge areas are good. Make sure each ring goes back, you know, about 1/4 of an inch like that, all the way around. A little bit too close together up here. Clean it off, make sure it feels good. And here's a trick for you. This is when using plastic repair or body filler to kind of prevent from filling all the different textures. Sometimes that gets confusing to determine if it's a high or a low. Use a rag, put it over your hand, feel of it. Sometimes you can feel more with that rag on there. If there's any waves, you need to keep sanding. If there's still a low in there after you blocked it out, you may have to apply more. But remember, if it's bare plastic, you know you need to put the adhesion promoter back on, allow it to dry for 5 minutes, and then put another coat on and re-block it out. If this was just a small area that I had to repair, it feels good, and now I'd be ready for prime and block. We'd want to go ahead and use adhesion promoter, prime this area, block it out, and get it ready for paint. We'll talk about that in another video. And that's how you do a one-sided plastic repair. And remember, I have a question here for you to answer. I'd like for you to go down in the comment section and let us know what kind of repairs you'd like for us to do on this YouTube channel. And be sure to subscribe to us. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Give us a like on it. That's it for this video. We'll talk to you next time.